the Norman Cousins Global Governance Award, Walter Cronkite. World government is the structure necessary for global justice. You, sir, have been a lifelong advocate of this principle, and it is appropriate, therefore, that we present you with this amethyst shield.
I'm greatly honored, quite obviously, by the Norman Cousins Global Governance Award. I'll try to get it right, since I will be referring to it frequently, of course, from now on. The first priority of humankind in this difficult era is to establish an effective system of world law that will assure peace with justice among the peoples of all the world. Those of us who are living today can truly influence the future of civilization. We can influence whether our planet is going to live or die, whether it's going to drift into chaos and violence, or whether through a monumental educational and political effort, we will achieve a world of peace under a system of law where individual violators of that law are brought to justice. Those advocates who work for world peace by urging a system of world law and order, world government, if you please, are called impractical dreamers. Those impractical dreamers are entitled, it seems to me, to ask their critics, what is so darn practical about war? Today we must develop federal structures on a global level. To deal with world problems, we need a system of enforceable world law, a democratic federal world government. You know, what Alexander Hamilton wrote about the need for law among the 13 states applies today to the approximately 200 sovereignties in our global village, all of which are going to have to be convinced to give up some of that sovereignty to the better, greater union. First, we Americans are going to have to yield up some of our sovereignty. That's going to be, to many, a bitter pill. It would take a lot of courage, a lot of faith, a lot of persuasion to them to come along with us on this necessity. Their leader, Pat Robertson, has written in a book a few years ago that we should have a world government, but only when the Messiah arrives. He wrote, and literally, any attempt to achieve world order before that time must be the work of the devil. Well, join me. I'm glad to sit here at the right hand of Satan. Let us hear the peal of a new international liberty bell that calls us all to the creation of a system of enforceable world law in which the universal desire for peace can place its hope and its prayers. Thank you.
We would like to bring you a message from the First Lady of the United States, Hillary Rodham Clinton.
Good evening and congratulations, Walter. I'm receiving the World Federalist Association's Global Governance Award. For more than a generation in America, it wasn't the news until Walter Cronkite told us it was the news. Every night at 6 o'clock, we welcomed you into our living rooms and listened as you explained the complex events of the day. Whether it was the space race or the Vietnam War, presidential elections, or peace treaties, you were there, telling us in simple yet riveting prose what was happening. You became a trusted member of my family and of families across America. For decades you told us the way it is. But tonight, we honor you for fighting for the way it could be. We honor you for lending your voice to the cause of human rights around the world and for your lifelong commitment to international human rights law. From your reporting on the Nuremberg trials to your work with the WFA campaign to end genocide, you have stirred our consciences and challenged all of us to live closer to the words of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. All human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. So thank you, Walter. Thank you for inspiring all of us to build a more peaceful and just world. We are still listening to your every word, and with your continuing leadership, we can sail across these unnavigated seas into the 21st century, and there's no better captain I can imagine than you. Thank you.
The great story here is this vast right-wing conspiracy that has been conspiring against my husband since the day he announced for president.
And after 1989, President Bush said, and it's a phrase that I often use myself, that we needed a new world order.
Months before the Lewinsky scandal broke, Congress began investigating a scandal that had become known as Chinagate. Evidence suggested that the Clinton administration had compromised U.S. security in order to finance its re-election campaign. The Communist government of China was eager to acquire sensitive U.S. military technology and economic concessions. Through international money laundering, China funneled contributions into U.S. election campaigns and obtained privileged access to top U.S. officials. The communist money trail led all the way up to the Oval Office. If these facts were widely publicized, Clinton would face impeachment on grounds of bribery, and perhaps even treason.
It was wrong.
But the media misdirected public attention. Americans were told over and over again in 1,000 different ways that the only real complaints against Clinton were that he lied about sex. Yet more than a dozen of Clinton's appointees, business associates, and close friends were convicted of felonies since he assumed office in 1993. Many others implicated in the Chinagate scandal invoked the Fifth Amendment or fled the country altogether.
The media cover-up of Chinagate was not simply to protect Bill Clinton. It was to protect the larger agenda that Bill Clinton had facilitated. That was the transfer of enormous technology, critical military technology, to Communist China.
But it's good to have an outpost of the council right here down the street from the State Department. We get a lot of advice from the council, so this will mean I won't have as far to go to be told what we should be doing and how we should think about the future.
It's not easy. And I couldn't do it if I just didn't, passionately believe it was the right thing to do. I have so many opportunities from this country. I just don't want to see us fall backwards. So, this is very personal for me. It's not just political. It's not just public. I see what's happening. It's about our country. It's about our kids' futures. Some of us are ready and some of us are not.
That a former fundraiser for Hillary Clinton is now supporting John McCain. A big Washington press conference was arranged. They made her available to reporters. Everyone's writing up the story, and then the funny happens. Why doesn't this Hillary Clinton fundraiser like Senator Obama? Well, she told CNN earlier this year, it turns out, that Barack Obama is an elitist, out of touch, that Obama guy. So who is she who feels your pain and just can't throw her support behind a fancy Dan like Barack Obama? That would be Lady Lynn Forrester de Rothschild. The Rothschilds, of course, being the great banking and finance dynasty of Europe. Lady Rothschild herself was the head of a multi-million-dollar telecom firm who then married the international banker, Sir Evelyn de Rothschild. She now runs a gazillion-dollar Rothschild family holding company.
A winner, Lynn Forrester, now known formally as Lady Lynn Forrester de Rothschild, wife of Sir Evelyn de Rothschild of Great Britain. She is the former Hillary Clinton supporter and fundraiser, a Hill-raiser, in fact, now loudly supporting Senator McCain.
Now to the political story that everybody has been buzzing about today. The prominent Hillary Clinton fundraiser and big-time Democrat who came out for John McCain. And it's not just that she is switching sides, it's what she says about Barack Obama. She calls him elitist. That word a bit surprising for someone who's married to a billionaire. So let's ask her about it. Joining me live now, Lady Lynn Forrester de Rothschild. Lady de Rothschild, is it okay if I call you Lynn?
Please call me Lynn Campbell.
I absolutely will. But the whole point of you being here, Lynn, let's be honest, is that you were one of Hillary Clinton's biggest supporters and biggest fundraisers, so you making a switch is what's making news. Anybody else making a switch wouldn't make news. So I'm trying to get at what it is about Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, who are identical on all the positions.
Let me tell you.
The Associated Press has learned that Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton have met face-to-face. The closed-door meeting comes just days after Obama clinched the Democratic nomination and just one day after Hillary Clinton's campaign announced she's planning to drop out of the presidential race. Campaign aides for both candidates say the meeting was about unity.
You know, this was a meeting that Senator Obama had talked to Senator Clinton about. It was eager to do at the end of the conclusion of the primary process.
Initially, it was believed that the secret meeting took place at Clinton's Washington, D.C. home. Obama's spokesman denied that, but won't confirm where the former rivals met. He also declined to comment on their topics of discussion, including the possibility of Obama inviting Clinton to become his running mate. Obama on Tuesday night earned the 2,118 delegates he needed to secure the Democratic nomination. Clinton now plans to announce Saturday that she's ending her campaign and supporting Obama.
I'm not going to get into all the details of the meetings. I don't know that I've got a ton more different answers for.
So she called yesterday afternoon and said, could we use the house? And I said, sure. And so Hillary came by, and I had a chance for about 20 minutes because Senator Barack was delayed, and they had a meeting for about an hour.
We know that the status quo in Washington just won't do. Not this time. Not this year. We can't keep playing the same Washington game with the same Washington players and somehow expect a different result, because it's a game that ordinary Americans are losing.
We've got to win over hearts and minds, and what that means is we've got to invest in countries that have no educational infrastructure. We've got to give them a stake in creating the kind of world order that I think all of us would like to see.
To Dr. Brzezinski, I can't say enough about his contribution to our country.
I have said that I will renegotiate NAFTA, so obviously you'd have to say to Canada and Mexico that that's exactly what we're going to do.
And I think actually Senator Clinton's answer on this one is right.
We get a lot of advice from the council, so this will mean I won't have as far to go to be told what we should be doing.
We Americans are going to have to yield up some of our sovereignty.
You became a trusted member of my family and of families across America. For decades, you told us the way it is. But tonight, we honor you for fighting for the way it could be.
Well, join me. I'm glad to sit here at the right hand of Satan.
I just don't want to see us fall backwards. You know, some of us are ready and some of us are not. And, you know, this is very personal for me. It's not just political. It's not just public.
First, we Americans are going to have to yield up some of our sovereignty. That's going to be, to many, a bitter pill. It would take a lot of courage, a lot of faith, a lot of persuasion to them to come along with us on this necessity.
Unless we're prepared to understand that in fact we're all going to have to give up a little bit of our sovereignty in order to make the world work.
The world we have been trying to build since 1945. The world we want for our children and grandchildren. It shows it can be done if we act together. And I call this enlightened sovereignty.